BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all of your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with all the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all of your sports wagering information. In between games, just head on over to the BetOnline Casino with all of the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bleav in Bengals podcast. Yours truly, Solomon Wilcots. And today we have a very special guest, one of my favorites, of course, Cincinnati Bengals radio analyst and the host of the In the Trenches podcast, Dave Lapham, joining us on the Bleav in Bengals podcast. Dave, how you doing today?
Solly, I'm doing extremely well. Even better now that I got the invitation to join you in the Bleav in Bengals podcast. I mean, I got a guy that I respect and admire as a football player, and even more so as a human being. But I mean, that SWAT team that you were part of, that was the real deal, man. That was football right there. That was football on that back end, I'm telling you.
Hey, we weren't going to let them throw it over our heads, if you know what I'm saying, Dave. We're not giving up the cheap stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
you know? And oh, by the way, we'll make you pay coming across the middle. It was fun. It was fun. They let us play in those days, so it's okay. But, hey, great to have you on. You're one of our all-time favorites. There's no doubt about it. We got a lot of ground to cover. I want to get started by just kind of stepping back and taking a better look at Joe Burrow, because what I don't want ever is for him to go underappreciated, because I do think he's been so good. And he was good early in his career. You know, year two, he takes your team to the Super Bowl. That's kind of cashing in pretty early. And I think going into now his sixth NFL season, here's a guy that's now operating in his prime. I think we saw that last year. So the numbers bared it out. As far as I'm concerned, he was the most valuable player. I know it's hard to give MVP to a quarterback whose team doesn't go to the playoffs, but one more win for the Bengals, and Joe Burrow is our league MVP 1 year ago. How are you seeing him coming into 2025? What is it that you like about Joe Burrow as the Bengals quarterback entering this season?
I like him for a lot of the reasons that you just said, Solly. I mean, I really Bleav that he is an odds-on favorite for MVP.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Bengals, they were one game out from getting into the playoffs. They were 9-8. If they don't just absolutely tank that football game, I don't mean tank, throwing the football game, but playing so poorly against the New England Patriots in the opener, they're in the playoffs. I mean, that football game, that home game against the New England Patriots, to give that thing away like they did on a silver platter, ended up costing them a playoff opportunity. But to Joe Burrow, and your question there, I kind of digress a little bit about the frustration of that opening game, man.
I'm with you.
It's lingering, man. It's lingering,
I know.
I mean, it's hard to get rid of it, man. You can't shower it off, But Joe Burrow, Solly, you as a unbelievable player with an incredible football mind back there. And you were the guy that Dick LeBeau said, Solomon Wilcots is the man that I'm going to communicate through to get my guys in the right spots. And a lot of times there wasn't communication from Dick LeBeau. I mean, you had to make reads on formations, motions, personnel, change of strength, all that kind of thing. And Dick LeBeau, I mean, I talked to him about you, and he said, if there's one guy that I would trust with, my most prized possession, it would be Solomon Wilcots, to do the job right, to make the right call, to see things the way they're supposed to be seen, and to get everybody lined up accordingly. He respected the heck out of you, as do I. Respected you as a football player.
That's my guy. Dick LeBeau is my guy now.
I know you guys had a phenomenal relationship. There's no he talked about you. I'm Solly. I'm not kidding you. And you probably know this. He talked about you like you were one of his sons, man. I mean, it was like you were blood. I mean, it was like, there was a bond there, man. Not just a football bond. I mean, he again, he thought you were a remarkable human being, as do I and a lot of other people. But and Dick LeBeau was cut from an unbelievable cloth, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
The real deal. Mm-hmm. But I think Joe Burrow is like you on the offensive side of it. Even when he was in college, I'm sure you were the same way at Colorado. I'm sure you saw things. And this guy, looking at tape of him at LSU, I mean, he was playing with people, man. Oof. He was toying with people.
Yeah, man.
He saw things so quickly.
Yeah. And
I mean, he would kind of look guys off and then come back to his initial read, and he had an immense understanding of the game of football and how to execute it at the quarterback level. And he does. He reads coverages like, I mean, he's a football savant.
Yes, he is.
And then you couple that with the arm talent. I mean, the accuracy of throwing the football. He's going to hit you. If he has to hit you on your outside shoulder, that's where he's going to hit you.
Where it is,
Inside hip, he's going to hit you. I mean, he can put it in small windows, tight windows, and with some juice on it, And so I just think that his whole package, the physical and mental, the mental makeup of the guy, and the physical ability to execute what he sees and how he sees it. I mean, it's a unique package, and they won 5 in a row, Solly, to get to that 9-8 mark.
I know, right?
They get off to a better start. That New England game, I mean, if they get off to a better start, we might be talking a much different scenario right now.
Yeah, we've seen this with him. He has the ability in the years where he's got to play the whole season where he goes on a run. I thought even in 2023, he was doing it after that 49ers game where he was he got his feel, right? And now he's clicked, and then he gets hurt. But once he gets his feel, once he gets his click, the rest of the season, it's a later. I mean, he's going to go through everyone. Look, you got to see all the greats here. The great Kenny Anderson, he was a league MVP. You got to see Boomer Esiason. He was a league MVP. I thought Carson, had he stayed here, he would have been a league MVP. And I think Andy Dalton maybe is not given enough credit. He took this team to 5 straight seasons of playing in the postseason, right? That I thought that was an incredible run for him. I think this is the best. And now I'm talking some guys who was MVP. This is the best quarterbacking that I think this franchise has seen. And I don't know that they've ever had a better chance of winning a championship with a quarterback than what they have in Joe Burrow. Is that a fair statement?
Totally. And I'm going to be selfish and say, you're going to go get 2 or 3, 3 or 4 or something like that, or at least 2 or 4. Right. You got to get some multiples. You got to get more than one.
That's right. That's right.
Like you said, him at the quarterback position and the skill players that he has now that they've gone out and made commitments and signed Jamar Chase to a big contract extension. You got T. Higgins in the fold. Got him signed, and then you got Mike Gesicki at the tight end position, who's like another wide receiver. I mean, he's a different breed of cat in terms of not the type of tight end that you think about, a big guy that will line up at the end of the line of scrimmage and knock people around. Not saying that he doesn't block, but his game's not slobber knocker type stuff. His game is he's going to hurt you.
He's going to hurt you
with catching the football for sure. And I do think that that they're in position to be a multiple time Super Bowl winner. I think they can do that. I think their offense is pretty close to there. As we know, you as a former defensive player, Solly, I mean, they got to get the offense right now, instead of being, bottom 8 or bottom 10, they got to get into that top 12 or top 10, and if they can get there with that offense, now we're talking something here.
Yeah, the offense is going to help the defense, but the defense has got to be able to come out and close out games when the opportunity presents itself. Yep. I do think there were strides they made at the end of last year that helped them to do that. You remember the game against Denver. There were some other games where they kind of made a few plays at the end to kind of help solidify some wins. Even the New York Giants game, I thought they showed up for that one. I want to ask you about a couple of guys that maybe we haven't talked about a lot this offseason. One guy I'm going to tell you right now, Andre Iosivas because we already know what we have in Gesicki. We know what we have in T. Higgins. We know, obviously, Jamar Chase. But in order for this, you're going to need these other guys to come through. And to me, Iosivas did it last year. I thought that game in Baltimore, he made plays on that last drive. If we could have converted on that last play, they're going to win. But Iosivas was against Dallas, made some plays. Tell me more about what you see him being in 2025 and what Jermaine Burton can potentially be if he gets going in the right direction. An offense that's already good has a couple of more pieces that are really untapped, that if those two young guys really play like we know they can play, this could be a really dangerous offense in a whole nother way at a whole nother level.
No doubt, Solly. Absolutely. And Iosivas is the fourth guy. I mean, I put Gesicki, as the number 3 guy, as a receiving weapon, not tight end or wide receiver, but a receiving weapon because of the versatility and the things that he can do in that passing game. But Yossi Yossi's
he's a player, man.
He is, Solly. I mean, you've got an eye for talent. You got an eye for football talent. You got an eye for football, period. But you see what Yossi can give an offense, man. This guy is he's bigger than the average Bear, at the receiver position in terms of height, and he's strong. He's physical.
Right.
He's put together. He's been in the weight room. I mean, he's hit it pretty hard. So he's got some strength. He's got some strength at the catch point. I mean, when he goes up and he gets his hands on the football, it's hard to dislodge that thing. He's physical. He can take contact when he's catching the football. A lot of bang plays. He can maintain possession of that football. And the other thing that he does, Solly, it's like, we talk about Gesicki as a blocker, and he can get it done. So can Yossi, man. Yossi as a receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, when you leave him on the outside, I mean, he gets after people now. I mean,
and here's another thing, Dave. Early in his career, I've seen it. He's earned the trust of Joe Burrow, which isn't easy. That's not an easy thing to do. Joe Burrow, at times, he does not shy away from going to Yossi when they need to play on third down or in the red zone. I think Joe's really comfortable giving him opportunities.
No question about it, because he knows that he'll do the dirty work.
That's right.
He'll go over the middle and take the hit, and still hold on to the football. He'll do. He's a guy that when Joe Burrow is looking for a guy to be where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there, how he's supposed to get there, Yossi's all that. I mean, Yossi he prides himself on playing the game the right way, doing what he's supposed to do, and having a relationship with his quarterback where, like you talk about, trust. There's respect. You got to respect each other. But the trust factor, that's invaluable, man. You can't put a price tag on that. You just can't.
What about Jermaine Burton? The trust is where he has to make significant strides. I think that game in Baltimore, that was a night where I saw in a couple of plays, he just didn't get there. He didn't get to the point. And Joe was very frustrated. The coaches, I could tell, were frustrated. I think that was the last we pretty much saw of him for the rest of the year, because it looks like everyone was frustrated. And then, he had tough times. You got to show up. You got to be on time. You got to be on time. What kind of strides has he's made this offseason, or is it too early to tell? And what more can you say about the expectations they have for him?
Yeah, I think from an expectation standpoint, they still feel like he's got some growth. There's meat on the bone.
Yeah.
Obviously they feel like from a physical standpoint, he's got immense talent. Ooh. I mean, size, speed ratio.
Yeah.
He's got length. He's got speed. He can get in and out of cuts. I mean, he's violent when he plants his foot and redistributes his weight and gets in and out of cuts. I mean, he's got a lot of physical abilities. Like you say, Solly, where he has to grow is maturation. I mean, he's got to be a mature football player. I mean, in maturity overall in his entire life, really, and prioritize some things. And like you said, you can't be late. You can't no show. There's responsibility. I mean, there's accountability. There's responsibility. Those are two big abilities, and it's those are more abstract. It's not like you can evaluate that on a watching the guy from a physical standpoint. You can see some physical attributes, but accountability, responsibility, availability, all those are big abilities to have as well. And he's got to do a better job in that regard for his teammates and his coaches.
Dave, at this time last year, most of the attention was going towards the contract talk surrounding T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase, in so much that buried beneath that was some of the nuanced facts that we all kind of knew about Ja'Marr Chase and about how Zach Taylor would use him in the offense. In the absence of Tyler Boyd, we knew they were going to move him to the slot. We knew that we were about to see fireworks, because I always said, once you get him into the middle, you move him into the slot, he's going to be much harder to defend. It's going to be easier to get him open. And I said, you're going to see Cooper Kupp type numbers. I mean, I didn't see Triple Crown happening. I did not.
Yeah.
But I knew you would see an explosion in the production, knowing how good Ja'Marr is at everything. Like, he checks all the boxes of what you want in a receiver: route running, coverage recognition, short area quickness, vertical speed, and a phenom when it comes to creating yards after the catch. Like, the guy is like a 5'2" player as a wide receiver, right? You say, well, we need him to do all these 5 things. Well, he could do all of those at the highest level with any wide receiver in this league. And then when you move him into the slot, that's just like, it's a force multiplier. So I got to ask you this, because I don't want us to underestimate him while not trying to put too much on him. But I think projecting a second consecutive year as a threat to win the Triple Crown, to do it 2 years in a row, he'd be the first player in NFL history to do it. I think in 2025, it's doable for Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow working together with all the other weapons they have. I think it's doable. Your thoughts?
100,000% agree, Solly. It's like Ja'Marr Chase is all the things you talked about from a physical standpoint, and his football IQ, his ability to read defenses, and his ability to get on the same page with his quarterback, Joe Burrow, pre-snap is key. I mean, you'll see during the course of football games, Joe will look out there, he'll see something, he'll look out there, he'll look at Lamar, and Lamar will look at him and go, and they're both nodding.
It's over.
Fireworks are happening, man. Fireworks are happening. So
that's right.
Those two guys are Mensa football.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. And you have both of them working with each other, and they've done it for a while. I mean, they did it, at LSU and made beautiful music together. And it's they're writing more, they're composing more music, man. It's incredible. They are just something to behold. And honestly, the coaches realize it, and the coaches put a big burden of responsibility on Ja'Marr Chase. Like, Solly, I mean, for him to line up everywhere and anywhere,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's a mental burden, It
is a lot of work.
And he has a great understanding and a great feel, for football, but still you have to put your nose in the playbook and make sure your assignment's sound and you're doing everything you're supposed to do. Because, man, I mean, one play call in the passing game, with respect to formation, pass protection, route combinations, could have a myriad of different things based on what the defense does to you.
That's
right.
He
has to be on top of all that, like right now, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the respect, and I think another word is trust. I mean, Joe Burrow trusts Ja'Marr Chase, man.
Implicitly.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Great word. Implicitly. I mean, when he puts it up, he knows that if Jamar's not going to get it, the other team ain't getting it. He's going to make sure of that. And that's a talent too that is underrated sometimes with receiver. It's that's like, right. So you're not going to get the football, make damn sure the other team doesn't, And Ja'Marr, man, I mean, you never see turnovers when Joe and Jamar are working together.
No,
it just doesn't happen.
Right. It just doesn't happen.
If they're not making a play and a big play for the Cincinnati Bengals, it's 2nd and 10 instead of 1st and 10.
I asked Joe. Yeah, that's right. I asked Joe. I said, "Hey, that 5-game winning streak you guys went on. When did it start to click? When did you felt like it was now going at a rate where it was going to be hard to stop?" He said, when they got the turnover down in Dallas, remember the muff punt? He said we didn't even think twice. As soon as we got the ball, because remember they had just got stopped, so they were punting the ball, and the kid muffed the punt. Yeah. Joe's now looking for his helmet to run back out on the field. He said, we didn't even think twice. Just get the ball to Jamar. He said, just get the ball to Jamar. But it was the next play. Jamar goes downfield. He's walking in. He makes 2 guys miss. Remember on the little curl in hitch route, so to speak, he makes a guy miss, and now he's gone. He has the ability to make defenders miss. I always say he reminds me of a running back once he has the ball in his hands. Now he's like a Marshall Faulk after he's caught the ball. Now that's a whole nother kind of weapon. Like he's already got he's running routes as good as any receiver in the league. But once he has the ball, the guy becomes like a running back with those strong calves. He's a strong guy that gets into the weight room, and he's a hard guy to tackle in space.
He is. I mean, the thing about him, Solly, and you would appreciate this, obviously, the position you played, when you're in space against Jamar Chase, like you said, strong. I mean, from the waist down, when you see him in the locker room in a pair of shorts,
I'm like, who? This is not a wide receiver.
Yeah. The dude's a human anatomy chart. It's like you can see together. Every single, the quad, the hamstring, you can see every muscle group, it's like he is unbelievable. And he's so strong, like you say, he can make you miss with that explosiveness and the short space quickness and everything. But also, like a good running back, he'll run your butt over.
Yeah, he will.
He'll lower his pads, and with all that body strength and everything, he'll flatten your butt. He'll run your ass over, man. I mean, he'll put cleat marks up your chest as he's running over you. And that's an unbelievable thing because now you're in space. He made you miss. Now you're in space as a defense. He runs you over. Now the third time, what are you thinking, Solly? It's like, what's he gonna do? I mean, what's he gonna do to me?
That's how James Brooks used to do him, man. Think about it. That's why I told you he's like a running back. Once he has the ball in his hands, I've seen him size people up just like you described. Hey, I want to get your thoughts on, it's a position you played so well in the National Football League on the offensive line. It's very critical for the Cincinnati Bengals. In the years where Joe has played a full and complete season, they've allowed him to be sacked on an average of 46 times during the season when he's played a full and complete year. The offensive line, they know they have to get better. Scott Peters comes in. He's kind of a blend of old school guy, new school guy. He's worked with the best in Bill Callahan. I have all the confidence in the world, given what he teaches in terms of technique, but also how he's easy for these guys to talk to. They feel like he's a kindred spirit, right? And they hang on his information. You played that position. What is it about Scott Peters that leads us to believe that he's going to be a difference maker to make this a better offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals?
You mentioned Bill Callahan. That's a heck of a mentor to have.
Right.
Yep. And Scott Peters played for him as well as coached with him.
Yep.
And the other guy is Jim McNally. He is a Jim McNally disciple. And we know Coach Mack. We know Mouse McNally, man.
Right. That's our guy.
Man. I mean, that guy has an answer for everything. Yeah. And his techniques are proven over time at any level of football. And the higher the level, the more techniques and the more tools for your toolbox and fundamentals he's going to give you. And Scott Peters is like that. But you don't. Jimmy didn't want to overload you in that regard, and Scott Peters isn't either. He's going to give you a few things that you can adapt to a myriad of different looks,
That's right.
The biggest thing that they have a common belief in is low man wins. Get your pad level down, bend your knees, sink your butt, get your hips down, and get into people and strike people. And And the hand usage. Jimmy McNally was, revolutionary in terms of hand usage and striking people and getting your hands inside the framework of the body and a high-low on the hands inside the framework of the body. And Scott Peters is doing all of that, and he's doing some of Jimmy's stuff and taking it to another level. He really is with the jiu-jitsu stuff.
That's right.
That he's involved with because he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Man. That's that martial arts stuff it's legit, man. That's a real deal.
That's right.
And you apply. He has done a masterful job of taking jiu-jitsu fundamentals and adapting them and mollifying them a little bit and making them football techniques. And it's all about leverage and pressure points and all different kinds of things. And I'm excited about what he's gonna do. I'm excited about what he's gonna provide for that offensive line room instead of in terms of tools for the toolbox. And you got some smart guys in that offensive line room. Ted Karras he'll absorb all of it and apply it. And I'm real interested in see what he's going to do for those big tackles. You got 6 foot 8 inch, 350-pound guys, 38-inch sleeves. It's like these guys long-armed, big-bodied, right up Scott Peters' alley. I mean, those are perfect body types to apply to his techniques that he's teaching. It's going to be interesting to see how those guys grow.
And given the athlete that Amarius Mims is with this kind of coaching, I can see a very special player developing there with that kind of technique and that kind of coaching with his size and athleticism and his power. Because, Scott teaches that punch. He wants you to be aggressive, not afraid to strike, right?
Yep.
With that punch. And where most offensive tackles, when they're setting back, you're kind of absorbing what the edge rusher is giving you. No, they're going to teach you to get set, anchor yourself, but then strike. And I can't wait. Orlando Brown, Marius Mims, when these guys get to striking, when their technique sort of perfects itself, something special could happen with this Bengals offensive line. And I think when it does, we're going to look back at this point in time with the hiring of Scott Peters and bringing in the way that he teaches. You talk about the jiu-jitsu and what he teaches. I think it could be very special. We're running out of time here, Dave. I want to thank you for taking the time to join us. Great stuff, man, from you. Always good to have you. I got to get you more on Bleav in Bengals. You're too good not to have on the show. Okay?
Solly, I greatly appreciate that because, honestly, in my mind, like I've said many times to you personally and to anybody that wants to listen, you are a football savant, man. I mean, you were as a player. Dick LeBeau loves you, talks about, what you were in terms of the intelligence, how much confidence he had in you, the leadership ability of Solomon Wilcots. You were a special player, man, on the football field, off the football field, in the community. Great family, man. Solomon Wilcots.
Appreciate it.
Has it and had it all, baby.
I hope I can live up to all that, but I will tell you this. I was just in San Diego speaking at a biotech conference with a bunch of 250 CFOs, right?
Ooh.
Now, my job is to have a fireside chat with Drew Brees. He's a future Hall of Famer. This guy's got incredible in terms of what he's done in his career. So we're in San Diego. I find out 7 minutes before we're due on stage, Drew's not able to make it because he's at a board meeting somewhere. And now I got to go up there by myself.
Oh.
And I'm thinking now, what would Dick LeBeau do? And you know what? No matter what it is, he's going to keep his cool. Am I right? He's going to keep his cool. So that's what your boy had to do. I had to go up there and give it to him for a whole hour without Drew Brees by myself, Dave. So it was me thinking back to Dick LeBeau that triggered everything that I had in me to get through that 1 hour, if you know what I'm saying.
Dick LeBeau, to put it to football, it's like when things go wrong, you have to have an answer, right? On
That's
the football
exactly
field.
Right.
Injuries or whatever the case may be. And you can't let one bad play turn into 2 or 3 or all that. Ooh. So you had to be able to adjust, and Solly, you adjusted, man. And Drew Brees, hey, he's a quarterback. He sees the game, he's smart and all that. But they had the benefit of Solomon Wilcots, who sees the game better than anybody. I'll put you and your knowledge of football over Drew Brees against him anywhere, Solly, and I'm taking you, my man.
You're my man. I appreciate you joining us. And everyone, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Bleav in Bengals.